Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Reselling Rhythms. I'm your host, Adam, with Adam's Exploits. We're very fortunate today to have two special people, in addition to me, on the show. If you're watching this show on a replay, I appreciate it. I typically go live every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. This coming Wednesday, more than likely, I'll be on in the evenings. I'm lining up a very special guest who has about 15 to 20 years reselling experience. I'll give you a hint. He likes to say pro tips a lot. So if you know who I'm talking about, I'm hoping to have him on. It's about 80% lined up for this coming Wednesday, but it'll be in the evening, more than likely 8 p.m. Eastern, because he's on the West Coast. So I'm just going to let the chat fill in a little bit, say hello to a few people, and then we'll introduce our special guest. I always want to say hello to my moderators, who I sometimes forget to thank, and I really appreciate you guys. You really bring a lot to the channel, and you assist me and let me concentrate on doing a good show. Let's see who was in the chat. I know I saw Michelle earlier. I think Kathleen, this and that, is here. Our friend Kimmy is here. Miss Borderline Hoarderish is here as a moderator. And we have a lot of people in the chat already, guys. Thanks to everybody that promoted the show. And thanks again for Mr. Derek, who came over to assist me, and he's going to co-host today's show. Most of you probably already know I have some medical issues going on. Today I had to get a scope at the hospital. They put me under general anesthesia, and I haven't been feeling well the last few weeks, so I've been kind of like at 20% energy. I figured, what the heck, if I'm going to go under general anesthesia, who knows what I'll say and do? So basically what I told Derek was I was going to introduce the show. He's going to pretty much handle the show, which is great because how I did some auctioning work, Derek's going to do some interviewing work, so we kind of like cross-train, and he's a good friend of mine, so he was willing to help me out. So Derek's going to be doing most of the interviewing, and I'll just sit back, and if I have a question, I'll be almost like I'll be part of the audience, so to speak. I'll ask some questions. If something comes up, I'll make a note, and I'll pop in. But we're going to let Mr. Derek get his interviewing skills honed. So I just say hello to a few people, and we'll roll right into the show. We have Miss Tracy is here. We have Anamora. We have, of course, with Derek. We have Tommy the Bargain Effect. Welcome, Tommy. We have our friend Darlene, and remind me to promote her show later today. I love Darlene's show, and she's very, very loving and very giving with her time. And again, we talked about how lonely reselling can be, and Darlene is an asset to the community. She's not really a reseller per se, but she's an asset. She's has open arms welcoming everybody to her channel. Who else do we have here? Alice. We have Destiny. Tommy's better half. And am I missing anybody, guys? Jennifer. And I think that's about it. I'm sure some more people are Harlan. Thank you for coming over from the other channels and joining us and saying hello to our special guest. And I guess that's about it, guys. We will get started. And Glenn Swamppicker is here. Okay, guys, if I miss you, I apologize. I'll try to catch up and say hello if I see you later in the chat. As like I said, Derek's going to be handling most of the interviewing. So let me get over to Mr. Derek, and then he can introduce our guest, and then we'll roll in right into the show. Okay, Derek, you are up, my friend.
I don't see you, Derek.
Hey everyone. I'm glad. Thank you very much, Adam, for inviting me to do this with you. I want to thank everybody who's coming.
You there?
Over there are so many people in this chat right now. Many people that are showing the love to Adam, to myself. You know, everybody knows me. I'm the Hot Wheels guy. Nascarman 3345. We do a lot of fun. If you haven't subscribed to anybody that's in this chat, please just have some fun, show the love. We are all a great big family here. But the best part is I want to introduce an amazing woman who hasn't been around very long, but she has some quite a knowledge in her background and what she knows. And this is Miss Tiffany from Eat Sleep Amazon. She's usually on Friday nights on Fat Man the Flipper show. Mr. Alex, Saturday night. My bad. Oh, I keep up. And everybody knows Alex. Alex is in the chat now. Thank you for giving us your girl for the day to do this wonderful show. Miss Tiffany, just tell us about yourself, honey. Let's go.
Yeah, thank you guys. I want to say thank you to Derek and Adam. You know, when you guys reached out to me and asked me to be on the show, like I really felt very honored, and I'm just thankful. And I cannot see the chat, So I'm having internet issues. So I'm actually streaming off of Walmart Wi-Fi right now on my phone. I'm at the back of a Walmart in my car. So hello to everyone that's watching in the chat. I cannot see your messages, but I appreciate you watching. So yeah, my name's Tiffany. I go by Eat Sleep Amazon on YouTube and Instagram, and I've been reselling on Amazon and eBay for about going on month 4 now. So the end of like my first sell on Amazon was like the end of February. Yeah, and I just sort of fell into this whole reselling thing, and I just really love it. And I've discovered this wonderful community of people and other resellers, and it's just something that's all very new to me, but I just absolutely love it.
Great. That's awesome, Tiffany. I am so glad that you are here. Like I said, Adam has been gracious to let you come on. We really want to learn a lot more about you and have the understanding of what got you started into Amazon. Was it when you were a kid, where you're from, stuff like that. Let's give us a little bit of information on how you started.
So I'm from Texas, born and raised. I currently live in Louisiana. Because a lot of my family is here. Like I've lost a lot of family members over the past recent years, so I don't have a lot of family. My family that I do have is all here in Louisiana now. Yeah, so I found out about selling on eBay. I don't remember exactly how I found out about selling on eBay, but I sold on eBay a few years ago, but it wasn't to like make really like a profit for much. It was just to sell stuff around my house that I wanted to get rid of. Extra stuff that I had that I was like, okay, I don't want to have a garage sale. I'll just sell this on eBay. So I've known about eBay for several years now, but I never really knew about like reselling as something that people can do to make like a legitimate income. But several months ago, like earlier, I would say earlier this year in January, I met this guy that actually I met him on a dating app. And I was just where I live in the middle of nowhere, and I was just honestly trying to meet people and make friends. And I met this guy, and we just started talking, and he told me that he has like an e-commerce business that he sells on eBay and Amazon. And he wanted like me to sort of learn more about it because he was thinking about branching off into private label, like he does strictly wholesale. And so I first started learning about Amazon from him and learning about like what private label is. And the more I learned about private label, I was just kind of like, okay, this is not really something that I want to pursue. It seems really high risk. Like, I know a lot of people can make really good money with private label, but for me, it just didn't seem like something that fit with what I wanted to do. So then I just absorbed so much information from YouTube. Like I literally just got on YouTube and I watched everything I could find. And I stumbled upon this guy named the Bearded Picker and Retail Arbitrage. And I honestly, like one of the first videos I watched was not the Monopoly video. Like I didn't even know there was a Monopoly video until after I had watched several other videos. But I started learning more about Amazon and retail arbitrage and online arbitrage and just different, other business models that you can do for Amazon. And I was like, okay, this seems like a little bit more like of what could be something that I could do and I would be interested in. So I just learned as much as I could. Like I watched every video that I could get my hands on. And I started learning more about, like I read a lot about Amazon and the terms of service and all the different, rules that they have. And that's how I just got my start.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Now, we talked before, and you also have a full-time job also. So this is more part-time, or is it something that you're gonna take and become full-time and leave the full-time job, or what are you looking at?
So I have a regular job, but it's like it's a work from home job, and my hours are like I work really early in the morning and I'm done no later than like 11 a.m. So I have the whole rest of my day. And I am in graduate school. So what I used to do is I used to work in the morning, and then after that, I would work on graduate school stuff. But yeah, so once I started selling on Amazon, and then I hopped back on eBay because stuff that I was restricted in on Amazon, I was like, okay, I'll sell this on eBay. So once I actually kind of got into reselling, now, I obviously focus more on that. I mean, I still have my job and I do that every day, but I mean, eventually, like, I want reselling to kind of grow and be more of like a thing that I will say I focus on it full-time hours. Like I focus on this nonstop, but I want my business to grow. I want my Amazon business to grow, and I really want it to be something that can be sustainable over the years. Like, that's my goal.
Okay. Now, I know when you were talking about starting to learn about Amazon and everything, explain to people. I know a lot of them understand here, but explain what private labeling means.
Well, I don't have a textbook definition, but my definition of private label would be taking taking a product that you have manufactured and you put your own label on it. So like if you're finding a product, say, usually that's manufactured in China, you're going to put your label on there, like, say, this is Tiffany's product, and you put it on Amazon, and, your customers can find that. So that would be my definition of private label.
Okay. No, that's fine, because
Yeah.
some people that are on here, some of them are from my channel, and they're more toy guys and stuff. So that's great to understand that.
Yeah.
Adam, you have anything that you picked up?
Yeah, it just came to mind, Tiffany. Again, I told you I've been following YouTube resellers for about three and a half years. I hear the margins are kind of low on private labels. You also have to do, I know the technical term for it, per click ads, or you have to promote to get your private label. Because I know my friend, and the guys, I'm a fanboy of Casey the Rockstar Flipper. I always bring up Casey. We brought this up again before private label. And Casey usually has a candle sitting on his desk for some reason. And I'll pull up the candle, and he said, okay, guys, everybody buys, candles, national brands of candles. And he goes, and this is Casey's candle. So how do people know that my Casey's candle is as good as the other candles? So you have to get it out there, and it's expensive to get it out there and to launch it. Typically, what are the margins? Do you know what the margins are on private label?
I honestly don't know enough about the margins and all of that. For me, what just stood out is that it seemed like a type of risk that I was not willing to take, and at least not for first starting out with reselling. Now, I know that there are, like I said, a lot of people out there that do private label, and they are really crazy good at it, and they make crazy money. But for me, I felt more comfortable selling products that I knew there was already a market for, and I could see, I could look at the statistics, because I'm a statistics person. That's what I'm studying. So I wanted to look at the statistics and say, okay, there is a market for this. This product is already selling. And for me, that's what made me more comfortable. So the person that I met that was already selling on Amazon, he does exclusively wholesale. And the margins on wholesale, like he was telling me, for what he does are only maybe 20, maybe 30%. And he was wanting to get into private label, but he was looking more to have investors. And so that's kind of why he kind of gave me the information about Amazon he gave me. He was not wanting me to get on Amazon on my own. When I actually got started on Amazon and I started sending him screenshots of my sales and texting him and saying wow, you've helped me discover this world that I love, he was not too happy about
it. He's jealous.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if it's jealousy or just he didn't want the competition, or I went obviously with a different business model than private label, and I didn't go into business with him, and so maybe that was kind of not what he wanted. But I am thankful to him to this day. I was if I can buy you a beer or whatever, I'm so thankful that the little bit of knowledge that you gave me, you've introduced me to this whole new world that I never knew existed. I honestly, a lot of people thought when you bought something on Amazon, you were buying it from Amazon, the company. And I didn't know about third-party sellers. And I didn't know about, like said, I mean, I knew eBay, but I thought like people that sell on eBay, they're just selling like stuff that they have that's extra. Like I didn't realize like people are actually doing that to make an income. So this whole reselling thing is very new to me, and it's a world that I'm just so happy and thankful that I've discovered because I just absolutely love it. I mean, I do this 24/7 and I'm obsessed with it, but I love it. So, yeah.
Now now do you have a niche that you go? Is it one specific health and beauty? Is it something that you mainly go right towards when you go to the stores?
Honestly, I mean, no. I mean, I would like to focus more on like certain niches because as a female and I'm very girly, like I love cosmetics, I love perfume, I love all that. And I just got ungated in topicals. I have a friend that used to work for Amazon that helped me do that. And so that has really expanded my business, getting ungated in that category. But I don't. I mean, I honestly, I look at Keepa. I use Keepa religiously, Keepa.com. It used to be free. When I first started reselling, it was free. I think they started charging the end of February, early March. So it's now paid monthly subscription. But I use Keepa to make all my buying decisions. Like I don't buy anything for Amazon until I look at Keepa and I see like, okay, I can see the history of this item. And then for eBay, of course, I look at the sold and completed. So, yeah.
Just interrupt for 1 second. Further down, I don't want to get into it now, but that was one of the questions I had mentioned to Derek that we should probably discuss about some of the apps and some of the things that you use.
Okay. Yeah.
I know obviously you're using the Amazon Seller app, but again, I don't want to get into that now. I want you to to kind of roll, but if actually keep it in the back of your mind so we don't like kind of stick you like I'm not sure. You have it like in the back of your mind thinking about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now I know with you I know you're newer. Do you have a goal for this year of set where you're set with your business in a certain way that you know what you want to do for the rest of the year?
I have a set amount of profit that I want to make per month. So I won't say what that number is, but I do have a set goal. So once I get there, I'll be like a huge, check mark on my list. Like I've met that goal. Right now, because I am so new, I watch my numbers really close. So I'm always looking at my profit and loss. I'm always looking at my profit margin. I'm always looking at what kind of ROI am I getting? I really want to be careful because I know that a big mistake that a lot of new sellers make is you buy something and you put it up on eBay or you put it up on Amazon and you sell it and you're like, yes, I made a sale, but are you actually making profit? I don't want to be thinking that I'm being successful and I'm actually doing well at this and then I'm not making any profit, I mean, if you're just breaking even or you're losing money, that's obviously, not a good thing. So, yeah.
Awesome. I just wanted to let you know. I know you can't see the chat, but now you have just passed 100 in subscribers. So congratulations on hitting 100. And everybody's giving you praise of your buddy, Mr. Alex. Please, if anybody has any questions for her, please put them in the chat. We are watching the chats. Like we said, Tiffany is an amazing woman. I know she's just starting out. She's learning so much that it's amazing to see to have a full-time job plus do this. You can't go wrong. I mean, that's the type of people that we want to be around, and to have Tiffany here and explain what she's doing. It's great. Now, do you have certain stores that you like to go to, or is it just you go and find wherever? Okay.
Yeah, I think
well,
if I end
any bolos, any little
it froze up a little bit, so I couldn't hear the end of your question.
Yeah, you're a little choppy. Your iPhone's not that great today, but that's all right. We appreciate you playing on the injured reserve list, Derek.
But so any bolos or any specific stores that you like going to?
I don't get any bolos per se because I am the type of person that like I want to make RA videos, but I'm really like hesitant because I'm very super cautious of showing what I sell. But I will say my number one tip, or I don't know if it's my number one, but I never pass up a Walgreens. I always go to Walgreens, people. Like, I I was in Austin. I was with someone, and I was like, there's a Walgreens. I have to go. And that person was not very happy, but I was like, I have to go. Yeah, I love Walgreens. I mean, there's so many stores out there. I mean, I do hit the big ones that everybody knows about, but I'm also always trying to like find new spots, you know. And if you can find stores that are maybe like, I know a lot of people go to like Ollie's. I don't have Ollie's where I am. But I did have a store called Fred's, which we just had all of those closed down. So I did source there very well. I actually did extremely well there. But I'm always trying to find like new stores, you know, expand my sourcing areas if you can, you know. Yeah, so I will say just don't ever pass up a Walgreens. Like, even if you went in there this week and there was nothing this week, go in there in another few days, or go in there the next week, you know, because you just like, you may think, okay, like, yeah, I went in there last week and there's nothing there, but like, go in there again, you know, and try to learn, like, okay, at your store, when do they mark, like, look for the orange tags, when do they put those, you know, and don't just go to the section that you think is clearance. Like, I literally, one thing that I do that is, I feel like has helped me is I go up and down the aisles, you know. I kind of, and it takes more time, but I find more stuff that way. You know, I don't just walk in the store, go to one section that's clearance and say like, oh, there's nothing here, and then walk out and leave. Yeah.
Okay. Now, when I know you said you're very into the numbers game. I know you're going to school for that and everything. Like, are you taking it down to how much gas you're using, how many miles you're doing? Are you taking it down to that point where you're that meticulous on what you're doing with money spending? And
well, I do, like, I have an app that keeps track of my mileage. I have an app that keeps track of my expenses. So, like, if I go out of town for RA, you know, I keep track of all of that. Yeah, so I am very, like, just, I want to make sure, like, hey, you know, I'm not thinking that I'm making money when I'm not, you know? So, yeah, and I mean, I do use, I don't want to manually keep track of all that, so I do use software to do that.
What do you use? Do you use Mileage IQ?
I don't use Mileage IQ. I use something called Hurdler. I like Hurdler because it keeps track of mileage and expenses, and I
With
can
a
literally.
D or a T? Like Hurdler, like the.
It's HURDLR. So
Okay.
they have a website and they have an app. I have iOS, so I don't know if they have an app for Android, but I'm sure they do. But I can just take a photo of my receipt, and then, you know, you can organize everything by like what type of expense it was. And then for the mileage, it also tracks your mileage. And then you can classify it, you know, as business or personal. So
nice.
Yeah. And then for everything that I do as far as Amazon expenses, I mean, I keep track of that with Inventory Lab. I love Inventory Lab. So.
Let me interrupt for 1 second. Do you use any kind of like GoDaddy bookkeeping, or do you use QuickBooks? What do you use for your bookkeeping?
Well, like I said, Inventory Labs does a lot of that for
There's
Amazon.
a lot of that. Yeah, because I don't do Amazon, so I don't use Inventory Labs, right?
Right. So, I mean, for eBay, I don't do a whole lot on eBay, so I am able to keep track of that manually. But if I do grow, like I have for, you know, like the GoDaddy is really good. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. So what are you seeing in the next 5 to 10 years with your life? I know it's a little bit far out, but like 5 to 10 years. I know she's looking for a boyfriend. I know she's looking that aspect. Hey, you said it the other day, so
I think you're frozen, Derek.
we're gonna let that 10 years. Are you gonna try to stay with Amazon, or you're gonna try to branch out to eBay more? And
I mean, my number one focus is definitely Amazon, just because it's so time consuming, and I just love it. I mean, yeah, I'm going to keep doing eBay, but that's not my biggest focus, because for me, I don't have a lot of space to store inventory and all of that. So, you know, I like the concept of FBA where you can ship it in, you know, Amazon takes care of all of that for you. Yeah, so I just want my business to grow. I mean, I have a certain profit per month that I want to get to. That will be my goal. And then if I can ever exceed that, that's icing on the cake. I mean, I know a lot of people, you know, that, or I don't know a lot, but I know a few people that like they do RA big for Amazon, but they hire sourcers. I don't think I ever want to get that big. And for me, I don't ever want to get so big where it's like this business is growing, but I'm not actually out there doing it. Like I love RA so much that I always want to be able to just, you know, continue to do it.
That Alex Fatman Philippa says she'll be a major influencer, helping people across the world become successful entrepreneurs. See? And I think he's right. The way
Well,
you
thank
think.
you, Alex. I mean, it was just to make some extra money, like just a little bit. And I very easily saw that, like, if you put in a lot of effort in this and you do your research, like, it can easily grow, you know, like there's a lot of potential here. So for me, I like to, you know, set short, small goals. And then if it becomes more than that, great. Yeah.
That's cool. So let's get into the apps that you really prefer using. Spotify and not Spotify. Was it Scoutify?
I do use
and
Spotify, but that's for music.
Music, I know. Scout. I can never get that one right. Scoutify. Scout.
Yeah.
And Scout IQ. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's like my mind's going crazy right now. That and what's the other one? She's laughing at me. Yeah. Hey, you never know. You can get unmuted in music.
It's cutting in and out, so I can't completely hear what you're saying.
Yeah, you're choppy, Derek. You got the Wi-Fi connection. So you use Catify. You said you use Keepa. Obviously, you use the Amazon Seller app. What other apps do you use related to Amazon?
Well, so I have the Inventory Lab, and that comes with the Catify app. So if I'm out doing RA, I definitely use Catify, and I like how it's very easily, I can check my restrictions, I can apply. If it says I'm restricted, I can apply to get approved, which I also always recommend. Like if it says that you're not approved, I recommend, you know, requesting approval, because then you can know, like, hey, a lot of things you can get auto approved in, and then right away, that's one more thing that you can sell. Yeah, I use Keepa, and you can also access Keepa very quickly from the Scoutify app.
Could you give us like a 25-cent description of what Keepa is?
Well, Keepa is going to feed off of Amazon's what they call API, and it's going to look at the sales history. So it's going to give you the entire sales history of that item. It's going to tell you, like, it's going to give you a green line that's going to show you the sales rank and how it's gone up and down. And every time it goes down, that was literally one sale. It can tell you, like, on average, how many units per month the item sells. You can look at the buy box, like how the buy box price has changed. You can also see how many sellers. So, like, if there's an item that you're sourcing and it's on clearance and you're like, wow, this item is really good, I can make good money. But you see there's two charts. So on the bottom, there is a chart where it'll show you the number of sellers. And if you see that going up, like, you should know that the price is going to come down, because obviously, like, so many people jump on that listing and then, you know, they start taking the price, which that doesn't always mean you shouldn't buy it. It just means that you might have to hold on to it until everybody else sells out, the lower price people sell out, and then you can, you know, sell yours for a higher price.
Is there something with the sales rank? Do you keep some kind of figures, or is there some kind of app or some kind of thing that you keep on your smartphone as far as, like, different categories and what to look for? I know after a while, you've been doing this for a while, it just becomes second nature. But do you have some kind of like listing of the sales ranks and where you want to be?
I have a general idea in my mind, but to be honest, like when especially for RA, there are times when you'll scan something and it'll have what you would say a bad sales rank. But when you look at Keepa, you see that the item has a poor sales rank because it's out of stock on Amazon. So it hasn't sold in a while. So that sales rank has went up. So I honestly don't have like a set rank yet. If I ever do have like a sourcer or something, I might, just because, I would need to relay that information to them. But me, I just always check Keepa. And what I like about Catify when you are doing RA is like it will give you the rank of the item out of the total number of items in that category. You get a better idea of like, okay, it may be 100,000 or it may be 300,000, but if it's different categories, they may both be good buys.
Right. They're your two go-tos. I mean, obviously Amazon Seller app, and then the Keepa, and okay. And any other again, we're going to discuss it later. Any of the other apps that you use on a daily basis when you're sourcing for Amazon?
Well, I do online arbitrage as well.
Do you use BrickSeek?
I do use BrickSeek on occasion, yes, but I'm not a super huge, I haven't mastered BrickSeek yet as well as I want to. So I can't say I rely on BrickSeek as much as I could. That's another avenue that I may focus on in the future to kind of expand my sourcing. But I do online arbitrage as well. So I use, there's 2 programs that I've used for that. Yeah. So the programs, like I've used Tactical Arbitrage, and there's another one called Source Mogul. I've used both of those, and I've found some really good products with both of those. So I know a lot of times people are like, well, do I need both? And maybe you don't need both at the same time, but I would say the more opportunity you give yourself to find products, then that's a better chance you are of finding products that are going to build your business.
Great.
Yeah.
Am I still choppy? I don't know. I'm just
No,
like
you're
I'm
fine now.
Be better now.
You're fine.
okay. So that's great, Tiffany. You're giving a lot of information. I know, like a lot of people when I've talked to a lot of people that do Amazon, yes, you do have to have some secrets in what you do because you're going to give everybody
We jinxed them.
everybody everything that be in order.
Tell your son to get off the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Adam, get off the internet. You're choppy, man.
Derek, go to the back of the Walmart and connect to the Wi-Fi there.
There you go. Remember, guys, what I say all the time: necessity is a mother of invention. This young lady Tiffany is believes in that. She says, I got to be on the show. I got to help Derek and Adam out. I got to find Wi-Fi. I don't have Wi-Fi. She goes to the back of Walmart. So you can do it too.
That's right.
and what did she say to us? She is technically going to go dumpster diving.
Well, they're not in the dumpster.
Lots of boxes.
They're just right here on this metal cart. So, but they are good size.
But they're still part of they're still part of trash.
Oh my!
They're not trash in the cash.
Right, exactly. Hey, you can't complain about that, Tiffany.
You're part of the
dumpster crew.
A lot of these things are stuck up here.
Yeah. Well, if I can find good quality boxes for free, then yeah, I always take them because that's money you're saving.
What do you use typically? Again, this is how my show usually works. My brains are a little foggy today, but I appreciate Derek being here to help out. But with the boxes, do you have any particular go-to? Do you go to like the Home Depot, get their box, or what do you go to boxes typically?
Well, honestly, yeah, I honestly haven't had to buy a lot of boxes. Now, I was out of town, so I didn't bring my free boxes with me. So and I didn't want to have to like take time to go hunt down free boxes. So I did buy some boxes there from Home Depot. But normally my boxes that I use for FBA shipments are all free. I'll just be outsourcing, and then they're doing stock. And I'm like, hey, can I take these boxes? And they're like, sure, yeah, we're just going to throw them away. So that's what I try to get the free ones if I can.
Kimmy says here that she's gonna go out diving soon, but she calls it Curbco.
Yeah, I love it. That's great.
That's the fancier way.
I just want to touch about on, because you say you do predominantly RA.
Yes.
When I have people that do predominantly thrifting, I asked, you know, do they have any kind of system? I'm sure people after a while they get in like a routine. You say you always stop at Walgreens. Typically, Walgreens does have its clearance section, but not all Walgreens have clearance sections. You say you look for the red tags. I'm sorry, the red tags, the orange tags as well. So if you were to go, let's just say, I mean, I go to Walgreens. That's where my prescription plan is. If I were to go into Walgreens and I was your next, not you would tell me because I'm your next door neighbor, you don't want to tell me your secret sauce. But I was your brother from another mother across the country. How would you say? How would you tell me to go sourcing at a Walgreens or a Walmart or a Target?
Well, if you go to Walgreens, so I would definitely, if they have a clearance section, you know, you want to go for the low hanging fruit at first. So that's a good place to start. But like you said, a lot of times they don't have a clearance section, and a lot of times like they don't have anything in that section. So then, you know, what I do is I literally go up and down the aisles, and you can find stuff on the aisles that way. And I've even found full price items. There are a few items that I do source that are not on clearance, not on sale, and they sell at a higher price on Amazon. So, and I found these items by literally just taking a few minutes one day, and I said, let me check this section. And little by little, as I've grown in my checking of sections, I have found these items. So, you know, so just that would be a good strategy to have. Like, go into a store and you say, okay, I've checked the clearance, I've checked the orange or the yellow tags or whatever the store's tags are for the markdown. But then let me scan just a few items in this section. Maybe you'll scan it and find nothing. Was it a waste of time? Well, you could say it was, but you learned that that's not a good section. But then keep building upon that. Like, I talked to one guy, and he found me through a Facebook group, and he messaged me, and he had some questions, and I had questions because he does a lot of grocery. And he told me he has a lot of really good grocery items that he buys full price. He sells them FBA and makes a killing on them, and they're replenishable. And I asked him, like, how did you find these items? And he said, I literally went into the store. I went and I scanned, like, everything on that aisle. And he said people were looking at me like I was crazy because I was, like, literally scanning. But that's how he found these items. And yeah, it's a lot of work and a lot of time and effort, but to find something like that is a replenishable, that's, you know, you're making profit on it, like, it makes up for that time. You know, there's a lot of time at first, but then it makes up for it, you know? Yeah.
So how would you, let's say, how would you tackle Walmart? And Walmart is the beast. I mean, every time I go to Walmart, it's like, oh my word. And then you first got to know where the clearance section is, and then usually when I go to clearance sections, I see these videos on other people doing RA. It's like, where the heck is this Walmart in Mars? I mean, my Walmart's never looked like that, so nice and organized, and prices on things. I go, and half the time, that was a tip, by the way, I could bring up, guys, which probably would came up in the conversation. But Walmart actually has an app for your phone now, for your smartphone, so you can scan things.
Yes.
I go crazy looking at. I said, the heck is this price on this thing? And I grab all these things, and then I would look for a scanner, and then half the scanners would be broken in the store. And then it was like, I wasted my time looking for stuff. Then I can't find a scanner, and I would get frustrated. Then I have to go look for a clerk to find out a scanner that worked. So now you can just install the app on your phone, and it works for Android and for Apple, so iOS. So that was one thing that came to mind. Figure out that's long. So I'm assuming you use that as well when you're in the store, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, the Walmart app is a lifesaver for a couple of reasons. Number one, you can scan. So when you walk into Walmart, it picks up that you're in that store.
Right. So it locates as your location.
So everything that you scan while you're in the store, it'll tell you the price of that item for that store. So sometimes you may see something that has a yellow tag and it's on clearance, but say it's marked for $49.99. You scan it with the app and it says like 25. Well, guess what? When you take that item to the register, they have to give you that price of $25. And sometimes it won't ring up 25, but because it says it's 25 on the app, they have to give it to you for that price.
That's great.
I also love the Walmart app because you can actually scan the QR code at the bottom of your receipt with the app, and it saves your transaction. So it gives you an electronic copy of the receipt. And if you ever have to return something for personal, or you ever have to have like not an IP claim, but like a counterfeit claim with Amazon, then you can prove, hey, I bought this and this is legit, So the Walmart app is great. I wish every retailer would create their app like that because it's so helpful. So yeah, if you're in Walmart, definitely scan the item with the app because you're not going to know the true price until you check it with the app. So
do you when you go to different Walmarts, and do you see a different in pricing in each Walmart?
Oh yeah, for sure. Maybe not like a drastic price, but like for instance, when I did my road trip already, there was an item that like it was like $12 at some Walmarts and then it was $25 at other Walmarts. And they're not going to give you the price of what it is at the other store. They're going to give you whatever that price is that when you scan it with the app, it'll tell you. So yeah, there can be, and that I think that's why BrickSeek is so helpful because something may be on clearance or markdown or on sale at one Walmart, but not at the others.
That's what I'm having problems with around here because I'm watching people in Texas, watching people and I'm sitting there going, I can't get that price here. They're not saying, and I'll show them the video, and they'll be like, no, we can't do that. I'm like, okay.
Right, yeah. But I mean, in a way, that kind of makes it beneficial if you are selling it, reselling it, because not everybody is going to have access to that item for that price,
Have you ever gone to like a department manager or store manager and made an offer? Like if you see something there's a lot of quantity of it. I mean, I hear stories of other resellers doing it. Have you ever tried that?
I have had that happen at a store. I won't say what store. It was not Walmart, but the manager was actually doing the clearance markdown when I was there. So he saw me scanning and he said, if you buy them all, I'll give it to you. He said, if you buy all of this one item, I'll give it to you an additional 50% off. And I scanned it and that item was not on Amazon. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to buy this. But I said, what about everything else? He's like, yeah, whatever you buy, if you buy it in bulk, like if you buy all of this, I'll give it to you an additional 50% off.
Happy Dan.
I was like, no way. And he's like, yeah. He said, look, some of this stuff we've had since, like this was literally earlier this month. And he said, we've had it since last spring. So spring of 2018. He's like, we've got to get rid of it. And he said, what are you doing with all this? And because he saw my buggy. And I said, I'm going to sell this on Amazon. And he said, no way. He said, I used to sell stuff on eBay, but just, as like something for fun. And I was like, okay, well, I said, look, your store is awesome. You've got a lot of great products here. And like talking to him, he like actually showed me other areas of the store where I could find stuff because it wasn't all in one section. Yeah.
It never hurts. I mean, worst comes to worst. I mean, some people are afraid to say the resellers because some of the retail outlets, Target, don't like resellers.
Right. Well,
but I always pay, especially like I talk about thrift stores because I do mostly eBay. But become friendly with the clerks, become friendly with the managers. It can't hurt you. Maybe bring them a cup of coffee.
Well, and so like I was talking, so I am, and I was for a long time really scared to tell anybody that I was a reseller like not anybody, you know, you guys and whatever, my friends, but like people in stores. But I was, you know, I was talking to my uncle, and my uncle used to sell like stuff from Goodwill on eBay. And so he said, yeah, he said, you know, one of his biggest connections was the manager. And I know, like, I watched The Greater Picker, and he always talks about, like, yeah, you need to make connections and talk to the managers and all of that. Now, when I'm in Target, I, like, even personally, like, if they ever ask me, what is this for? I'm just like, I freak out because I know Target hates resellers. So anytime I go into Target, I feel, like, guilty even being in that store. But, like, most other stores, if I am there, like, I will, if they ask me what is all this for, because they see you buying, like, large quantities. So I'm just honest with them. And a lot of times, like, they give you a weird look, like, what did she just say? Like, you can sell this? Yeah.
Yeah, you're right about Target. Target is really cracking down on about buying in bulk. So they do not like that at all. I had a little confrontation with the manager here and the one they made. But yeah, no, they're definitely with the bulk stuff. I always, if you can get a discount on something that's been sitting, you know, that's been sitting there for a while, especially, do you? This is one thing I've learned. You know how to read the tags on the products, that the tags that Walmart and everybody has. Do you know how to read those to see how long they've been sitting there?
No, I've read a couple of blog posts about it, but to be honest, I didn't like really, you know, I didn't really focus on trying to master that.
It's something really good. Date code. There is a date code on that.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a date code on every single one. So,
wow.
And that's just from working in retail. You learn that, and I learned that. So.
Yeah. I've heard of that, you know, and I think that is good to kind of know, you know. It kind of gives you an edge for sure.
And certain stores do different numbers of their markdowns. I mean, they might have like something marked down. It might be a percentage marked down, or it might be like a sale, or they might have a number at the end that tells you it's a markdown. Sam's, I believe, I know it's a 1, but it might be a 7 also. So if you see something like 29.71, you know that's the final markdown. I mean, it could be a seasonal thing, but you know it's their final markdown. So whenever I see those, I always scan those items or look at them.
Or if you see an 88, you use the 88 a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
any other tips you have as far as RA?
Wait, what is that? What's your question?
Any other tips you may have for us? I mean, we're talking, you do predominantly RA, you do some OA, but I mean, what other tips would you just come to mind? And then we can roll in. We're sitting about 15 minutes. So I'm going to keep you here forever. So we roll into some tips, and then maybe we'll open up to a few questions, and then we can roll into, you know, thanking everybody, whatnot. Then I don't want to keep you here, you know, forever. I don't want to thank you for your time, and again, thank you so much, Derek, for being here and helping me out.
Well, I mean, I really feel like with reselling in general, and especially with Amazon, I feel like you have to find what works for you. And so if you feel like RA or OA or wholesale or private label, whatever you feel like you want to try, like, go into it with a good attitude, but realize like it may not be for you. And so with RA, you know, RA, you're going to have, like, in my only video I've ever made, I said, like, you're going to have disappointment, and you are. Like, there are going to be times when you go to a store and you have high hopes, like maybe you're chasing something from Brickseek or whatever, or a tip somebody gave you, or something that you found at another store, and you're going to go in there and the item's not going to be there. And then you're not going to find, like, you go around the whole store and you don't find anything else either. So you just kind of have to realize, like, this is real life. Real life has disappointment. You have to get used to that. But if you do find that, like, you like this, you have a passion for it, it really fits you, then, you know, don't let these little minor setbacks or disappointments, like, don't let them keep you from trying to, you know, pursue this.
That's what happened to me when I first started doing RA. I got frustrated because I'm driving. It's like I got this, or this is dated. You know, it's like
Right,
made me
right,
crazy.
right. Yeah, yeah. And, and I know, I've talked to some people and they're like, I can't find anything. I can't find anything. And, maybe if you honestly cannot find stuff and you have, you've tried to learn as much as you can, maybe RA is not for you. Maybe there's another model that's better for you. Um, like with reselling, it's great because there's so many different ways you can do it. Like I know people that do just thrifting and they make a killing at it and they love it and they're so good at it. And there's people that maybe try Amazon and Amazon's not for them. Maybe eBay or another platform is better for them. I just think you have to keep trying to find where you fit in and don't try to be like with life. Don't try to be someone you're not,
True. I mean, you had like Derek said earlier, you have to find your niche and find out what. Now,
Right.
you didn't really get into that too much. Do you just scan like everything? I mean, there are people that sell on eBay that whatever they can make $1 on, they do. Do you have something you specialize in, like home goods, or you probably, I'm assuming you stay away from clothing because clothing is difficult on Amazon. But do you have anything that you kind of like you're keen on?
I don't have any particular niche. I honestly know that you can do really well on clothing on Amazon, but I don't believe that where I live we have those sort of sourcing places. So I could do that when I do like my road trips, but I have not branched out into clothing, much clothing yet. I've done a very little bit, but I honestly, for me, if it has a good sales velocity and I can make a good profit on it, and I can make a decent ROI, I usually set that at like 40%, but that's like the low, that's the bottom. Then yeah, I go for it. I don't want to pigeonhole myself into a certain niche, and miss out on all this other opportunity,
Okay, why don't we see if the chat has any questions? I was trying to monitor chat when I was, because Derek again was gracious enough to help me out with today's show. And again, Derek, thank you so much for helping me out.
Not a problem.
I don't think I missed any questions, but moderators, Kimberly, Michelle, Kathleen, questions in the chat possibly. We're going to ask Tiffany before she leaves for the day. You have to get those boxes before they disappear. Any questions, guys?
I just want to thank everybody. I mean, we had 40 people in the chat. Nope, nothing here yet,
you
guys.
So much.
Not a problem, Tiffany. I mean, you answered a lot of people's questions because they're sitting here just happy that you came on, and they've done. You got a lot of subscribers. I think when you turn your phone back on and look, but you did an amazing job, especially for your first true interview by yourself without everybody. So you don't. Here's the thing: you don't need to worry about having people with you. You can do this yourself. You're a strong woman, and you can do it.
Okay.
I think Adam would agree with me that even though he was a little under the weather, and we just did an amazing job. And anything with you, Adam?
No, I was just going to come back to it again. I know we discussed a lot of it, but did we miss anything, Tiffany, as far as, again, you had brought up a lot of the apps that you use. Are there any other websites or apps that you might, or any tips per se that you have that you want to leave us with? Anything rumbling around? Rumbles around in my mind is probably more precise than yours because you're a numbers person, but mine just kind of rumbles around in there, and sometimes things come out.
I mean, I would definitely say, for me, I love Keepa, and I love looking at that data and having that before I make a purchase decision. So I would say, if you can get that and definitely learn how to use it, and that can really be an advantage that you can use to grow your business.
So Keepa, of all the apps, I mean, if you're going to do RA, you definitely should obviously have the Amazon Sellers app, but you would definitely suggest that you get Keepa as well.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, I use the Catify app, and I just access Tifa directly through that. Like I click on.
What is that? Is that kind of like a pairing? If you pay for one, you get both. I mean, how does that work? I don't really do that.
Tifa is separate, but if you do pay for Inventory Lab, you get the Catify app. Yeah. So, but some people just want to use the seller app, Amazon seller app to scan. And then if they want Tifa, like they can check Tifa on their web browser. So if they wanted to, if they're not ready to have more expenses yet, they could do it that way.
Yeah, see that's the thing that gets me. I mean, even for something like YouTube, and Derek and I have discussed this. We want to do everything well. We want to grow our channel,
Right.
grow our reselling business, and we want to be the best that we can be. But again,
Right.
everyone has their limitation, whether it be financial or physical or mental or whatever.
Right.
I mean, like with me, it's like, okay, well, I really want to grow my YouTube channel, but do I want to spend $1,000 on a camera, and another $500 this and this? Do I want,
Right.
do I want to rent a storage, unit for Amazon, not for Amazon, but for reselling?
Right.
It's a give and take.
Right.
Again, I mentioned some of the resellers I follow, some of the YouTubers. I mean, I invested in a Logitech camera. It's $50, and it's one of the best cameras to use for YouTube, for webcams. I invested $100 in a Blue Yeti. It's one of the best, but it's $100 and it's $50. I'm not investing thousands of dollars. But again, see, that's like with me, like with Adobe Photoshop and some of these other programs for YouTube or some subscriptions that you use for Amazon. I mean, that adds up, $15 here, $25 here. People say like, well, the thumbnails on YouTube. Well, get this, it's only $16 a month. Yeah. Well, that's 16, and the other one's 25. This one's $35. I mean, I pay $95 just for internet, and then I pay like another $65 for my cell phone. So I'm already almost close to $200 just for internet and my cell phone.
Right.
And I want a fixed income, and that's one of the reasons I do reselling, to try to generate a little bit extra cash and to keep me busy. But I mean, it's 15 here and 25 here and 35 there and 85 here, and it all adds up after a while. And obviously, we're doing this for fun, kinda. I mean, the fun part's the sourcing. The hard part is listing it and selling and making money.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody likes to not everybody, but most people like the treasure hunt.
Right. Yeah.
Treasure hunting fun.
All right, so Derek or Tiffany, did you have any final words? And I'll wrap it up once we're done. If you guys could just stay for a minute after the show.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you guys for inviting me on, and I really just feel very honored, and I'm very thankful. And I can't see the chat, but thank you everyone that's here, and definitely make sure to subscribe to these guys. I know they have a lot of great information, and I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Before you go on, Derek, again, guys, if you have any questions, again, Tiffany couldn't see the chat, so if you have any questions for Tiffany,
I did want to mention. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, if you have any questions for Tiffany, I mean, guys, I always answer. I apologize if I don't get right back to you, but I always answer the questions in my YouTube chat, not my chat, my YouTube comments. So if there's anything you had for Tiffany, again, she couldn't see the chat. She's a real trooper. She went to Walmart to get the Wi-Fi, so she didn't see the questions. If there are any questions for Tiffany, please leave them in my comment section after the video uploads, and I'll make sure that either I or Derek will reach out to her with the questions.
Okay. All right, guys. Thank you very much for coming, Tiffany. Adam, I'm glad you're feeling a little bit better. Thank you for even inviting me on to co-host for you. This was an amazing time, and I enjoyed doing it. Guys, everybody in the chat that came from my channel, came from Adam's channel, came over from Tiffany. I know all the crew from Saturday night was here. You know what? You guys show the love. Here's one thing that you guys can remember. Always think positive. You might be having a bad day. You might not find something in that day. Just keep a positive attitude, and you'll make it through. And that's what I have.
Yeah, and I did want to say that I do a live show every Saturday night at 10 p.m. Eastern. It's either Batman the Flipper or DG Picker's channel. We do it with Suburban Beard. So, yes.
Yeah, that's a great show on Saturday night, guys. Kimmy, if you could put the channel link in for Adam's, for Alex's, because I know it's flips from Alex's to Jordan's DG Pickers. But it is a great show. I know it's late. It starts at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. But definitely check them out. Tiffany's there, and she throws out some good little punches on being with all the guys. So, you know. And with me, I know Adam does a lot of stuff. He helps us out. We have our auction and my racing on Friday night. So Friday night was rock auction. We have all our cars already in. Everybody's racing. Even Tiffany's racing this week. And then we have our great, amazing, the ultimate vintage toy auction on Monday night, 7 p.m. on my channel. So, Mr. Adam, finish it up, bud. It's your show.
Okay, guys, again, I wanted to thank Tiffany and Derek. Again, guys, I didn't know how loopy I was going to be. It seems like the anesthesia is wearing off. I'm getting a little more alert. But again, with these allergies, I've been feeling so rotten lately. It's like, my word, if I go under anesthesia, I'm going to have like about 1% energy level. So again, Derek's a good friend, and he volunteered to help me out, and he helped to get Tiffany on the show. And again, I appreciate it. Please don't forget to subscribe to Tiffany and Derek. We've discussed before about the 1,000 subscriber rule, how we're trying to get up to that. I'm 99% certain I'm going to go visit Derek up in North Jersey. Just got to try to get my car fixed so I can make it up the turnpike and visit him. We're going to try to live stream with Streamlabs OBS, but it's kind of difficult for people that have never used it before. So we really prefer just to use the Google Hangouts. So you have to get to the 1,000 sub mark to do that. So again, I wanted to thank both of them for being here, and again, a lot of valuable information. Derek, you got your feet wet for interviewing, and you kind of cross-trained a little bit with the interviewing, and I appreciate it. Tiffany, what a wealth of information, and I'd like to have you on. Maybe a few months from now again. Maybe we can come up with a topic as far as relating to Amazon. We can discuss that as well. So guys, again, I'm just going to give you my proud sales, good sales to you. Again, I have a lot of videos up here. If you're new to my channel, if you're watching the replay, there's 99% of these interviews are reselling interviews. Again, I explained before that my parents were school teachers. I enjoy learning and teaching others. And I have a drama-free chat. I have moderators to make sure that there's no shenanigans going on. So you can come and hang with your friends. You can learn about reselling. Or even if you just want to have a good time and just want to hang with your friends, become educated, you're more than welcome. And again, there's plenty of videos up there with other resellers, including Casey the Rockstar Flipper, who I always mention every video. So I'm gonna have to mention Casey again because maybe he'll buy me a couple non-alcoholic drinks out in Las Vegas when I go to eBay Open. Oh, that reminds me, Tiffany, are you going to eBay Open?
No, but I am going to. There's a green room meetup.
The green room you said you've gone to with Chris, right? Okay, guys. So again, please look at the videos, like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.